What happens when two of Hollywood's biggest stars clash in a way no one could predict? The tension in Studio 6B was palpable. Fans buzzed with excitement as Kelly Clarkson prepared to welcome one of cinema's most legendary figures. But what started as a typical celebrity interview quickly spiraled into a moment that would leave everyone talking. By the end, security had to escort a Hollywood icon off the set. Stick around because the story that unfolds here is shocking, and you'll want to pick a side. The drama began the instant Julia Roberts stepped onto the stage. Kelly, full of her trademark warmth, rose from her desk with open arms, ready to greet her guest. But Julia barely returned the gesture, opting instead for a stiff handshake and a tight-lipped smile that didn't reach her eyes. The audience felt it instantly, a subtle chill where there should have been excitement. Kelly, ever the professional, didn't miss a beat. She dove in with her usual energy. "Julia, it's incredible to have you here. I've been a fan since I was a kid. Pretty Woman was the first movie I remember watching with my mom." Julia's response was curt. "That's nice." The nervous laughter from the audience betrayed their uncertainty. Was this awkwardness or something more? Trying to steer the conversation forward, Kelly complimented Julia's legendary career. "After all these years, what keeps your passion for acting alive?" But Julia's answer cut through the room like a knife. "It's about working with people who understand the craft, who respect the art form. Not everyone does." The edge in her voice silenced the audience, signaling that this interview is about to get real. Kelly's eyebrows shot up, trying to bridge the divide. "I think most people in entertainment have a deep respect for what we do. Film, TV, music, talk shows, we're all trying to connect." Julia leaned forward, her tone sharpening. "Are we? Because it feels like too many are chasing viral moments instead of substance. Everything's become superficial." Now the tension was tangible. Kelly's smile faltered. "I believe there's room for both, entertainment and substance. My show celebrates people's stories, their achievements. That's what today is about, celebrating you and your work." Julia laughed, but it was short, sharp, and full of skepticism. "Let's be honest, Kelly," she said. "You brought me here because my name gets views. You'll ask the same questions everyone else asks, show clips from a movie I made 20 years ago, and take a selfie for Instagram. That's not celebration, it's exploitation." The room went silent, every camera capturing the growing unease. Kelly, holding her composure but straining at the edges, responded carefully. "Julia, I invited you because I admire your work and thought our audience would love to hear from you. If something's bothering you, we can talk about it." Julia's eyes flashed with frustration. "What's bothering me? This whole culture of fake positivity, pretending everything is perfect when it's not. You sit here smiling and laughing, acting like everyone's best friend. But what's real about any of this?" Kelly's jaw tightened, her voice steady but firm. "What's real is that I genuinely enjoy talking to people. I've built a career on authenticity, sharing my struggles and celebrating others. If that seems fake to you, maybe you've become too cynical." The room felt suffocating. Julia abruptly stood up. "You know what? This was a mistake. I shouldn't have come here." Kelly stood as well, her voice rising. "Then why did you agree to come on the show if you have so much contempt for what we do?" "My publicist insisted," Julia shot back. "Apparently I need to maintain my image. Play the game, smile, wave for the cameras. But I'm tired of it, Kelly. I'm tired of all of this." Kelly's voice hardened. "Then maybe you should take a break. Maybe instead of coming on someone's show and insulting their work, you should step back and figure out what you actually want." The stage fell silent. Cameras kept rolling. And in that moment, what was supposed to be a routine celebrity interview had transformed into a confrontation. No one in Hollywood or the audience would ever forget. Julia's face flushed with anger. Don't you dare lecture me about what I want. You have no idea what it's like to have every single moment of your life scrutinized, to have people constantly expecting you to be perfect. Kelly didn't flinch. Actually, I do, she replied firmly. I've been in the public eye since I was 20. My weight's been criticized, my relationships dissected, my parenting questioned. So yes, Julia, I know what that's like. The difference is I don't take it out on people who are just trying to do their jobs. Julia's eyes narrowed dangerously. Oh, so now you're comparing your experience to mine? You think singing on a reality show and hosting a daytime talk show is the same as what I've been through? Please. Kelly's face tensed, but her voice remained steady, though a simmering anger was evident. I'm not comparing anything. I'm saying we've both faced public scrutiny and found ways to handle it. But right now, you're being incredibly disrespectful, not just to me, but to everyone who works on this show. And frankly, to yourself. Julia snapped, Don't you dare tell me how I should represent myself. I'm not judging you, Kelly shot back. I'm responding to you coming on my show and attacking everything about it. You agreed to be here, Julia. Nobody forced you? If you hate this so much, if you think talk shows are beneath you, then why are you here at all? Julia let out a bitter laugh. You want to know why? Because this is what's expected. If I don't show up and play nice, tomorrow's headlines will scream how difficult I am, how I've become a recluse, how I'm washed up. This whole system is designed to keep us performing like trained animals. And you're a part of that system. The audience fell completely silent. Some stared at their hands, others wide-eyed at the stage. Kelly took a deep breath, trying to keep her composure. Julia, I think you're dealing with something deeper than not wanting to be here. I get it. But this isn't the place for that conversation. Maybe we should take a break, talk privately. I don't need a break, Julia said coldly. And I definitely don't need your condescending concern. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're trying to control the situation, manage the narrative, make yourself look like the understanding one while painting me as the unstable actress having a breakdown? I see right through it. That's not what I'm doing, Kelly said, her frustration finally breaking through. I'm trying to salvage this interview, give you an out so we can both walk away with some dignity intact. But you seem determined to burn every bridge in this room. Maybe some bridges need to be burned, Julia retorted. Maybe we need to stop pretending this is normal. Sitting here under hot lights, answering vapid questions while pretending to be best friends, it's all a performance, Kelly, and I'm done performing. Kelly's voice rose. Then stop. Stop right now. Walk off the stage if that's what you want. But don't stand here insulting me, my team, and everyone watching this show. These people tune in because they want to feel good. Escape their problems for an hour, maybe laugh, maybe learn something new. That's not fake. That's connection. And it matters. Julia's voice dripped with sarcasm. Is that what you call this? Recycled questions and manufactured moments? Real connection requires vulnerability, truth, not this polished, sanitized version of reality you present every day. You want truth? Kelly's eyes blazed. Fine, here's truth. You walked onto this stage with an agenda. You came here looking for a fight. I don't know if it's because you're unhappy with your career, your life, or just needed someone to vent at, but I refuse to be your punching bag. I've worked too hard to let anyone, no matter how famous, treat me this way on my own show. Julia stepped closer, voice sharp. You think you're the victim here? You invited me into this circus. You wanted the Julia Roberts bump for your ratings, and now you're upset I'm not playing along. You can't have it both ways. I wanted a conversation, Kelly said, voice shaking slightly with emotion. I wanted to talk about your work, your foundation, the things you care about. I prepared thoughtful questions, watched your films again. I did my homework because I respect you. Or at least I respected the person I thought you were. But the person standing in front of me right now, I don't even recognize her. Maybe you never knew me at all, Julia said quietly, yet with an intensity far more unsettling than her earlier outbursts. Maybe none of you do. You see what you want to see. The smile, the laugh, America's sweetheart. But that's just another character I've been playing for 30 years. Kelly leaned forward, her voice firm. Then show us who you really are. Stop hiding behind this anger and tell us what's really going on. Because this isn't strength, Julia. This is someone lashing out because they're hurting. And I'm sorry you're hurting, but I won't let you hurt others in the process. You're sorry? Julia's laugh was sharp, almost cruel. Save your pity for someone who needs it. I don't need anything from you. Clearly you do, Kelly said firmly. Or you wouldn't be standing here trying so hard to prove something. You could have just declined the invitation, stayed home, lived your life. But you came here. And whether you admit it or not, part of you wanted to connect, to be seen, to be heard. So I'm listening. Julia, tell me what you really want to say. For a fleeting moment, something softened on Julia's face. A crack in the armor, a glimpse of vulnerability. But it hardened almost immediately. What I want is for everyone to stop pretending. Stop acting like this industry isn't toxic, like fame hasn't damaged every single one of us in ways we can't even articulate. Kelly's tone softened but remained firm. I've never pretended it was easy. I've shared my struggles on this show. My divorce, my body image issues, the pressure, the anxiety. I've been open about it because honesty matters. But I've chosen not to let the hard parts define me completely. That's not fake, Julia. That's resilience. Resilience, Julia said, her expression twisting with a mix of anger and pain. That's a nice word for it. I call it denial. You're in denial about what this business really is, about what it takes from us. And one day, Kelly, you'll wake up and realize all this positivity, all this resilience, was just another way of coping with something fundamentally broken. Kelly shook her head slowly. I'm not in denial. I'm choosing hope over bitterness. Yes, this industry can be cruel and exhausting, but it's also given me opportunities I never dreamed of. It's allowed me to meet incredible people, to use my platform for good, to provide for my family. I'm grateful, even with all the challenges. Grateful, Julia repeated, her voice dripping with disdain. You're grateful for being a cog in the machine. Congratulations. That was the breaking point. Kelly's patience shattered. You know what, Julia? I've tried to be understanding. I've tried to see past your hostility to whatever pain might be causing it. But I'm done. You don't get to come on my show, insult my work, insult me personally, and then act like you're enlightened while I'm naive. That's not enlightenment. That's arrogance. That's cruel. Julia's eyes flashed dangerously. How dare you call me cruel? You have no idea what I've been through, what I've sacrificed. Then tell me, Kelly shouted, her voice cracking with emotion. Tell me instead of standing there being vicious for the sake of it. Because right now, all I see is someone consumed by bitterness, forgetting how to treat other people with basic human decency. The audience gasped. Some stood up, unsure whether to leave or stay. The cameras rolled, capturing every second of the meltdown. Julia's face went pale, then flushed deep red. You want to talk about decency? Julia spat. Let's talk about the decency of dragging people onto shows like this to be dissected for entertainment. Let's talk about the decency of an industry that chews people up and spits them out the second they're no longer profitable. Let's talk about the decency of forcing women to smile, to be charming and grateful, even when they're falling apart inside. Nobody forced you to be here, Kelly said, her voice now hard as steel. Nobody put a gun to your head. You made a choice. And now you're trying to make everyone else responsible for that choice. That's not fair and it's not honest. Fair? Julia laughed wildly. You want to talk about fair? Nothing about this is fair. Nothing about any of this has ever been fair, Julia spat, her voice shaking with anger and frustration. At the edge of the stage, Kelly's producer appeared, urgently speaking into his headset. The show's security team moved closer, sensing the situation was spiraling beyond control. Kelly noticed but kept her focus on Julia. "I think we need to end this," Kelly said firmly. "This has gone too far. I'm sorry you're struggling, I truly am, but I can't continue this conversation. I'm asking you respectfully to leave the stage." "You're asking me to leave?" Julia's voice rose to a near shout. "You can't dismiss me like I'm some nobody. Do you have any idea who I am?" "Yes," Kelly said quietly, her tone calm but devastatingly firm. "You're someone who forgot that fame doesn't give you the right to treat people poorly. You're someone so wrapped up in your own pain that you can't see the harm you're causing others. And right now, you're someone who needs to leave my stage." Julia froze for a moment, chest heaving. The audience sat in stunned silence, the tension in the room almost suffocating. Then she reached for the glass of water on Kelly's table. "Don't," Kelly warned, but it was too late. Julia grabbed the glass, and for a terrifying second, it looked like she might throw it. Instead, she hurled it to the floor. It shattered into dozens of pieces, water spilling across the polished stage. The audience screamed. Kelly stepped back instinctively, hand clutching her chest. That's when security moved in. Two large men in dark suits rushed the stage from opposite sides. "Julia, we need you to come with us," one said firmly but calmly. "Get your hands off me!" Julia shouted, struggling against their grip. "I said, get off me!" she yelled. "Ma'am, you need to leave the premises," the other guard said. "We can do this quietly or we can make it difficult. Either way, you're leaving." Kelly stood behind her desk, visibly shaking, hand covering her mouth, tears welling in her eyes, shock, anger, and sadness all mixed together. "This is assault!" Julia yelled as she was guided toward the exit. "You're all witnesses. She's having me physically removed for telling the truth." "You threw a glass," a producer called out. "That's destruction of property and could have hurt someone." "I didn't throw it at anyone," Julia protested, still struggling, though the guards held firm. "I threw it at the floor. There's a difference," she insisted. "Not much of one," Kelly said quietly, her voice cutting through the hush that had fallen over the studio. "You crossed a line, Julia. Multiple lines. I'm sorry it came to this, but you left me no choice." Julia paused, locking eyes with Kelly. "One day you'll understand," she said, her voice suddenly exhausted. "One day you'll see I was right about all of this." "Maybe," Kelly said softly. "But even if you are, that doesn't excuse how you expressed it. Words matter, Julia. Actions matter. And today, yours were unacceptable." The security guards resumed escorting Julia off the stage. As she reached the exit, she called back one last time, voice breaking. "I'm sorry you can't handle the truth. And I'm sorry you've let your truth turn you into someone who hurts people," Kelly replied. The studio doors closed behind Julia and the guards, the heavy thud echoing through the silent room. Kelly stood alone, surrounded by stunned crew and audience members. She took a shaky breath, wiped her eyes, and looked directly into the camera. "I apologize to everyone watching. That was not the show we planned, and I'm sorry you had to witness that. But I want to be clear, I will always stand up for myself, my team, and the values this show represents. Kindness matters, respect matters, and nobody, no matter how famous or accomplished, gets to treat people the way we just saw." The audience erupted into applause. People stood cheering for Kelly. She managed a small, tired smile, waved, and walked off the stage, her shoulders squared, but exhaustion evident in every step. So, there you have it. One of the most shocking moments in daytime television history. A conversation that started tense and ended with a Hollywood legend being escorted out by security. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below. Here's my question for you. Was Kelly right to have Julia removed, or did she overreact? Let me know what you think.